Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are tackling a project that seems way more complicated than it is, renting a dumpster. We're going to break it all down and show you how to do it without any of the stress. So whether you're in the middle of a huge home renovation or just doing a massive cleanout, you know the feeling, right? You're just surrounded by junk. That pile of debris can feel like a mountain, but trust me, it's a mountain you can definitely conquer. In this explainer, we're going to give you all the tools you need. By the end, you'll have the confidence to rent the perfect dumpster, get a fair price, and sidestep all those common, costly mistakes. We'll walk you through everything step by step. All right, first things first, the most important step actually happens before you even think about picking up the phone. You've got to get a handle on the scale of your own project. And it's not just about how much stuff you have, but also what kind of stuff you're getting rid of. Okay, so you're going to hear this term thrown around a lot, cubic yards. But what does that really mean? Well, here is a super simple way to picture it. Think of a standard kitchen stove. That's about 1 cubic yard of space. Seriously, keeping that image in your head is probably the best tool you have for estimating. So following these 3 steps is absolutely key. First, figure out everything you're tossing, from old drywall to flooring. Then, estimate its volume in, kitchen stoves. And finally, and this is important, add a buffer. That extra 10 to 15% is your safety net. It's what keeps you from having to order a second, way more expensive dumpster halfway through your project. All right, with your estimate in hand, now it's time for the fun part, choosing the right tool for the job. And believe me, knowing a little bit about dumpster sizes right now is going to save you a ton of hassle later. As you can see, these sizes are really tailored for different kinds of jobs. For most projects around the house, you're probably looking at a 10 or 20 yarder. Now, here's a huge tip. If you're on the fence between 2 sizes, it is almost always cheaper to go a size up than it is to realize you need a whole second dumpster later on. Okay, and here is the one thing that trips up so many beginners. You might have tons of physical space left in the dumpster, but really heavy stuff like concrete, roofing shingles, or even dirt can push you over that weight limit way faster than you think. Just to put that into perspective, a standard 10-yard dumpster usually has a weight limit of about 4,000 pounds. That's 2 tons. And this is exactly why knowing what you're tossing is just as important as how much. Think about it. A dumpster that's only half full of concrete can easily weigh more than one that's overflowing with old furniture and drywall. Okay, so you know what you need. Now it's time to actually talk to some rental companies. Asking just a few smart questions right now can protect your wallet and save you from some really nasty surprises on that final bill. This should be the very first question out of your mouth. So, tipping fees are what the landfill charges the rental company for every ton of your trash they dump. You can kind of think of it like the cover charge to get into the dump. It pays for all the responsible waste management. Now, look, most reputable companies already build this right into your quote, but it never, ever hurts to ask. You just have to be certain. A simple, hey, are tipping fees included, can save you a massive headache down the line. This right here is the #1 biggest source of unexpected costs. We talked about estimating weight, and this is why it is so critical. So, what's the damage if you actually go over? This is why estimating your debris type, and not just the volume, is so important right from the start. I'm telling you, those overage fees can add up incredibly fast, and they can turn what looked like a budget-friendly rental into a really expensive problem.
Let's be real for a second. Projects get delayed. It happens. A big rainstorm, you hit a snag in the renovation, you get it. So it's really smart to know the company's policy on extensions before you even start.
When you talk to the provider, just be open about your project's timeline. A lot of times, they can adjust the rental period to fit what you need, and knowing that fee up front means a small delay won't turn into a big financial panic. And here's a pro tip that could literally save you a lot of money. Don't just go with the first price you find. Call at least 3 local companies. And when you do, make sure you're comparing apples to apples. Ask about the base price, the included weight limit, the rental period, and all those potential fees we just talked about. All right, the big metal box is in your driveway. The main event has begun. But, loading a dumpster isn't just about heaving things in there. There's a right way to do it that's way more efficient and, most importantly, safe. I know, it might sound a little funny, but this is a serious safety tip. You risk getting hurt on sharp objects, you could lose your footing, the debris could shift. It's just a bad idea. Use the walk-in door for the heavy items and place everything else carefully from the side. Please don't climb in. Now, this is maybe the most critical rule of all. You have to know what you can and can't put in the dumpster. Tossing in prohibited stuff like car batteries, tires, or wet paint can get you hit with extra fees, or they might even refuse to pick it up at all. If you have any doubt about an item, just ask the rental company first. Okay, you've done it. You've filled it up the right way. Your project is wrapping up. Let's just take a quick look at the final phase of your rental to make sure everything finishes smoothly. So a typical rental looks pretty much like this. The key is to be ready for delivery, ask them to put down some plywood to protect your driveway, and on pickup day, make sure the truck can actually get to the dumpster. A blocked dumpster usually means you're getting charged a failed trip fee, and nobody wants that. So what does all this add up to? It's all about control. By taking the time to understand the process, from estimating your junk to asking the right questions to loading it safely, you've set yourself up for a totally smooth, cost-effective experience. No surprises. You're ready. From that cluttered garage to a full-blown renovation, you have all the knowledge you need to get it done right. Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer.